In this particular module, we are going to study the concept of Mendelism and Mendelian inheritance. The first scientific explanation regarding inheritance was given by Gregor Johann Mendel in the year 1866. He did his experimentation on a garden pea plant and further postulated principles which are now known as Mendel's laws of inheritance. Gregor Johann Mendel laid down the foundation of genetics and thus is known as father of genetics. His epoch-making work is known as Mendelism. After Mendelism, now let us have a look at Mendelian inheritance. The organisms reproducing by asexual means or plants by vegetative propagation are identical to their parents and can be known as clones, whereas the organisms reproducing by sexual reproduction produce offsprings and are not identical to either parents, but they inherit some characters from both parents. Like for example, in this particular image, the girl has received her hair color and hair texture from her father, whereas her facial characteristics from her mother, thus showing intermediate characters. Till about 19th century, it was believed that there is a blending inheritance. That is, the blood or heredity units of both parents mix in the offsprings so as to produce intermediate characters. The same concept is explained in this image. The offspring that is produced shows blending of characters and hence showing a pink color. But blending inheritance couldn't really explain why offsprings of a black and a white horse were black and not gray. Also, why sometimes offspring resemble their grandparents or uncles and aunt and not their parents. These concepts of inheritance were further explained by Mendel's experiments. Johann Mendel was the first one to talk about the characters that are transmitted from one generation to the next through the particles known as factors. These factors are now known as genes. So before we start studying Mendel's experiments, let us first have a look at his biography. Gregor Johann Mendel in the year 1822 was born on 22nd July. He was born in a village in Austria. After his graduation, he joined Augustinian monastery of Brunn as a priest and further went to the University of Vienna for his higher education. In the year 1856, he did his first hybridization experiments on garden pea. In the year 1865, he presented the paper Experiments in Plant Hybridization. In the year 1866, it got published in the journal Annual Proceedings of Natural History Society. Further, in the year 1884, he died and his work remained unnoticed. Till in 1900, where his findings were rediscovered by the three scientists Hugo de Veris from Holland, Karl Correns from Germany, and Erich Schamack from Austria. All the three worked independently on his findings. Hugo de Veris in the year 1901 published Mendel's research paper in Flora. On Mendel's findings, further Correns postulated three laws known as Mendel's laws of inheritance. Thus, a new branch of biological sciences called genetics was opened. Here, we are done with the concept of Mendelism and Mendelian inheritance, and next we would be starting with Mendel's experiments as well as a selection of material for his experimentation. Thank you.